being in. Hey, I think we are live. Hang on
Nice.
here.
Made it.
Yes,
Oh,
we all made it. So I'm going to, somebody just let us know that we are live, that you can hear us okay. And because YouTube is not, let me just check you guys on the other, and then I'm gonna have to shut it off because it's gonna, it says live. Hold on. Okay, yep, that's perfect. All right. So I am so excited today to have two young men that I just discovered. Where did I see you guys on? Physicians Committee? Were you
what? Yeah,
interviewed
I think it was the physicians committee with Chuck.
with
The
Chuck?
Exam
Yes,
Room
with Chuck.
podcast.
With Chuck, yeah. Anyway, I would love for you to introduce yourselves. This is stretching my channel a little bit. I've always talked about wellness, and I usually say goddesses because I aim it mostly at women. So I don't talk so much about food, but I think it's really important, and that's why you guys are here, and we're gonna broaden the conversation out. So could you introduce
Love it.
yourselves?
Yeah, absolutely. I can take the lead. So we are the plant-based twins, both founders of All Love No Beef. I'm Jordan. That's my twin brother Jeremy, and we just got a mission to heal the world, to heal people, and we've been using our platform in this avenue as a way to bring healing to people. We're originally from Cleveland, Ohio. I now live in New York City, and Jeremy lives in San Diego, but he's actually moving away from San Diego today to take an adventure through Guatemala, South America, Mexico,
Wow.
all of it. So
Do you
yeah,
speak
that's
Spanish, Jeremy? Do you speak Spanish?
A little
Poco?
bit. But I
You
speak
will
French,
by the end, I'm
actually.
sure.
Yeah, I have my translator app that I'm going to be taking with me.
Okay. No, you're going to
I'll
pick
be,
it up. You're definitely
for
going to pick
sure.
it up. So autoimmune disease is so, I mean, first of all, it's increasing, right? And especially in the Black community, right? We tend to, it's just more, it's always more for a variety of reasons, that, yeah, we can get into. But I want to just jump into your story because I was so impressed. We saw the pictures. I don't know if today we'll be able to see like pictures, but, go ahead and yeah, tell us how you were able to heal.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not sure if you can see this on my screen, but that is
Yeah, go.
that is that's a picture of
That's me.
the back of Jeremy's head. Yeah,
That's
but
Jeremy. It's back at
that's the back
Jeremy's
of
head.
the
Okay.
back of Jeremy's head. Because at the time I wasn't taking pictures of the back of my head. However, I was more so hiding it. But we got to when Jeremy got alopecia, we got to the point where we were more comfortable taking pictures and everything because we finally figured out a way to reverse it. But as far as our story surrounding alopecia, it started with me in the first grade or kindergarten, and around that time. And my mom noticed that I had a patch in the back of my head, and then I believe we first originally thought it was like a ringworm, and then we thought it was like different forms of rashes, and we were applying different topical creams to it, trying to reverse it and fix it. And just like
Right.
over time, it would just kind of grow back as a kid. I wasn't necessarily doing anything to change it or to manage it as a kid, but it would come and go. Like every other year, I'd have a new patch, and then maybe it'll go away for 2 to 3 years, then a new patch. And as a kid, that's when kids can be the cruelest.
Yes.
And also sometimes kids just don't even know what they're saying. They're like, "Oh, you got a patch in your head," and it definitely makes you self-conscious and things like
Right.
that. So just dealing with that as a kid was a lot, but I don't think it like really started to impact me until I was dealing with it in high school. And I think I was just far more aware of myself and also aware of what others thought about me. So it
Right.
just made me very self-conscious. I was wearing a hood to school every single day to cover it up. You got those friends who know you got a patch in your head and they're like pulling down your hood, and they thinking that is funny, but it's actually like it was actually. Are they? Did someone else join?
Oh yeah, yeah. We've got some folks watching. I just can pop up.
Oh,
BB says good afternoon to everyone.
oh, gotcha. Good
Good
afternoon.
afternoon,
I'm
BB.
sorry, I'm not familiar with the going live on the YouTube platform. I thought someone else actually joined us
Oh
to talk.
no, they should not be able to do that. But you never know.
You never know.
Gotcha.
You never
Gotcha.
know.
Well, thanks, Bibi. Good afternoon to you as well. But yeah, that's pretty much where it started. In elementary, middle school, just dealing with it there, and then in high school is where it got pretty challenging. Where
Right,
our
right.
and then in college is when it got really bad on the day of graduation. And throughout college, I'm dealing with it. I was a basketball player, so I wore a
And
headband every.
can I stop you, Jordan, just to say again, because folks pop in and so they may not know what we're talking about. Like, just keep mentioning the word alopecia and maybe just give
Okay.
us a definition too. You know?
Yeah, absolutely. So
So they know.
alopecia areata is what we specifically have dealt with, and
Okay.
that's an autoimmune disease that causes your hair to fall out. It usually will form in like perfect circles, almost like a perfect quarter-size circle, and then usually expand from there. Or at least every single time I got it, it was like a perfect circle right here. I mean, absolutely perfect. It looked like someone took a quarter and just like picked that.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen it. And especially on our hair texture, I have to say, I feel like it's worse because it's just harder to hide, you
Yes.
know, typically. So yeah.
No,
Yeah.
100%. And that's the other thing is how much we as African Americans like really care about our hair and put a huge
Exactly. And
emphasis on our hair. And
yeah.
to have that as being something that was somewhat strict for me during that time, it was definitely challenging to say the least.
And so many African Americans also deal with alopecia. You know,
It's
it's
really
running rampant.
common. It's
Absolutely.
really common. Yeah.
It's
And I just want to say
growing.
one quick thing too to the ladies mostly watching and all of you on the replay, really welcome. And don't just think we're talking about alopecia here because like I don't have it, but I have a close family member, a female. It's particularly devastating for a woman. It just, I don't know. But of course we could do wigs, but that's
Yeah.
we could do wigs. But this is autoimmune. So also let's keep just reiterating that for my audience that because autoimmune like lupus, because I really believe what you gentlemen did could really help also folks with lupus, which is so common. So yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
But we've seen these
agree.
success stories. Like I'm in different Facebook groups and wellness groups where people are putting their testimony. They're like, hey, I went whole food plant-based and I was able to reverse my lupus. I was able to reverse these different sicknesses and a lot of different and it's really, I wouldn't say it's like just for alopecia when it comes to autoimmune
Exactly.
diseases.
It's not. It shouldn't be, right? If it's a wholesome diet, it should have a positive impact. And I've seen it too. Yeah, yeah. So let me just put in the chat that we're talking. I don't even know how do you spell alopecia? Can you guys
ALOPECIA.
alopecia and other I'm just going to say other autoimmune. Okay. Yeah. So tell us. So Jeremy, when did you start having a problem though? Did you?
Yeah. So it was really great when Jordan had healed from his alopecia and was able to reverse it. It's crazy the timing because he grew his hair back. He had went plant-based and everything was going great for him. And I was just kind of watching him go on his journey. I was like, go Jordan, you keep eating those plants. I had no plans on ever going plant-based, vegan, nothing like that. But then one day I was in the bathroom getting ready. I was actually headed out for church, and my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, she was like, hey, it looks like your barber got you on the back of your head. It looks like he clipped you. And then I was like, no way. That would never happen. I trust my barber. He wouldn't do that to me. And then all of a sudden, a few days later, it just started to spread, get bigger and bigger. And then from there, I was like, oh, wow, I'm dealing with alopecia. I have the same thing that my brother had. But I know that he had went this nutritional wellness route. However, I wasn't ready for that. I'm from Cleveland. I grew up on soul food. I was like, I'm not about to give that up. So therefore, I went to the dermatologist and I was like, fix my head.
Give me something. Like,
give me something. Help me. So they pricked me. They put all the injections in my head and did all that stuff. It was bloody. It was bad. And I was like, I would never, ever, ever do that again. Like I would never go back to the dermatologist to go through that.
Wow.
It's just going through pain. However, When I went to the dermatologist, they're like, hey, there's nothing we can do about it. There's no cure for this. However, we can just test different things out on you, basically. And I was like, okay, well, let's go
Okay.
through the test. And then I went once and never went back again. And then Jordan, he reached out to me. He's like, bro, I'm telling you, like, you got to do this. Like, and he held my hand through it all. Like, he got me onto the first plant-based meal that I ever ate and just kind of guided me and was my accountability partner through that. And it wasn't easy though. He was like, literally like, you need to put down all of that bad food that you're eating, get on these greens, get on these herbs and just natural wellness juices and so forth. So well, we tried that route. It wasn't easy. Again, it wasn't easy. However, it was worth it, and it changed my life. And then from there, my wife, she jumped on board as well, and she's like 99% on the plant-based side. But however, it's just been a great journey, and it all started from the alopecia.
And so that is healed. Like, as far as you're not seeing that the alopecia
No,
anymore.
not at all. However, I am aware that like my diet plays a huge factor into it, so I can't fall off. I'm not going to go back and start doing the things that I used to do just because it's gone. It's something that I now need to continue to manage, because autoimmune diseases, again, like it doesn't have to just be alopecia. It could be something else that pops up as well. So therefore, I have to manage my entire wellness and continue to eat this way so that I don't fall off and develop any other autoimmune diseases along the way.
Right. I know some of my audience, they may be shy, but I just put another goddess up there, and I know that this is an issue of hair loss specifically. Like, so what are some of the causes we think holistically? Let's talk about, like, I think stress, as a meditation teacher, stress is huge in autoimmune disease. Like, the doctors just don't, do they even talk about that, you guys? Do they mention that at all?
No, not at all.
They mentioned stress in a different way. It's I'll say the dermatologist did say to me, hey, like it could just be stress, and they don't really dive into like what stress actually, like for me, I'm just thinking, oh, like stress me and I need to stop dealing with that girl, or I need to stop dealing with these people. Like I just need to,
I need to quit my job.
Right, exactly. But there's several other environmental factors, there's food, and just so many different things that contributes to stress. So therefore,
Totally. Yeah. I just want to say, so hi, Miracle Millie. If you want to, we're going to take questions at the end. And if you want to put questions in, if you have any or comments, go ahead and put them in now. I can always scroll back up. So yeah, let's talk about what those stressors, and let's talk about again what your previous diet was, and like what you did exactly. Like, paint us a picture.
Yeah, I can start us off there. As far
Yeah,
as with our previous diet,
yeah.
it it mainly consisted of all different types of fast food and processed food, dollar menu items, McChickens, McFlurries, McDoubles, anything with a Mick in it. We was eating it. Yep,
I'm
McDonald's,
making a map.
Wendy's, pizzas every day. I played college basketball, and my coach would literally ask me to eat an entire pizza every single day to put on weight, because he wanted me to get bigger. So just it was just always processed food, chicken tenders and French fries, burgers and fries, always processed.
We consider American food. Like, if you ask, like, yeah, American food.
The American
The
diet.
sad, the sad diet, standard American diet.
We grew up in like a food desert, inner city Cleveland, Ohio, the hood, if you want to call it that. It was liquor stores on every corner. It was gangbang, shootouts, all of that stuff, nonstop, all day, every day.
Wow.
And my mom would often just because she worked extremely hard, great mom, all kudos to her, but she would leave us money on the table for us when we came home from work, and that was a blessing, just to have money on the table. But we would come home, unlock the door, run up the stairs, grab our money from the table, and hit the streets to go get some food. And every single day that consisted of some sort of burgers and fries, or now and later's Mike and Ike's, Ho-Ho's, Twix, Snickers, ice cream sandwiches, and this was every single day. I mean,
yeah, your diet really sucked, though. I have to say, because I'm going to share what my diet. I also grew up in the inner city, but my diet wasn't. But go ahead.
Yeah, and that was every single day.
We did have the. Oh, sorry, there was a little bit of But we did have like non-processed food as well from my grandmother, my mom. They definitely made meals for us. However, it was
Right.
more along the lines of just fatty red meats, and even if they did give us vegetables, it still had chunks of bacon inside of it, and chunks, that if there's beans
or
pork,
deep fried pork chops, or chicken or gravy over chicken, or whatever it was.
Right. Right.
It
It
was
tastes
it was
good,
for
but
food.
you feel tired afterwards. Like, why do we feel you shouldn't feel tired after you eat? That's just one of my rules, right?
No, you're right. It's supposed to give you nutrients, to give you energy. We
Energy.
were eating a lot of food that lacked any sort of nutrients, to say the
Yeah.
least.
and put us
A
straight
lot
to
of
sleep.
bleached foods. Yeah,
It puts you
straight
to
to sleep.
sleep, right?
It's
Put
those
us
meals
straight
where
to
you
sleep.
go to lunch in school, and then you go to that class after, and you falling asleep in class, and teachers are wondering why these kids are falling asleep. It's because the lunch didn't have any nutritional
Right,
density
right.
to it at
And your
all.
liver specifically is working really hard to try and break that stuff down. You know,
100%.
Yes.
it's just very, very hard. So I hear you. I want to quickly say my diet. So I'm from Jamaica, and working class family, grew up in the South. Well, I shouldn't say the South Bronx. It wasn't quite the South Bronx, but um
Oh, wow.
like you said, and I know, of course, your mom would cook for you when she could, but she didn't buy a lot of junk food. She did some, like, as we got more money, isn't it interesting? Like, we got more money, she'll be like, "Oh, I'll get you the Entenmann's." You guys remember the Entenmann's cakes? They're ridiculously expensive right now, but
Oh.
It's like the
internet is.
yeah, I'm not either. But are you saying like the more money you guys had, it's like the more money you would spend on like the bad foods?
it feels like that. Like, it feels like when we were more like closer to coming from Jamaica, we ate just a little bit more traditional. Yeah, I mean, but like you said, meat, but we always had like a potato or a yam. We had rice.
Yes.
At least it was home cooked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yep.
You eat them from the ground, like the ground
Yeah.
provisions and things like that.
So,
And
yeah. But I then was getting kind of fancy. I always had like these aspirations. And so I started to demand TV dinners. Because if you remember, no, TV dinners, remember, they were advertised as almost like this gourmet thing, right? And so my
Oh,
mom's
yeah.
like, all right, I'll get you some of that, but it was crap. It was worse, way worse than what she would make.
Mhm.
It was
Absolutely.
crap. But they just do a great job. You spoke on advertising. I think that's a huge thing that, I mean, it works, which is why they do it over and
Yeah.
over and over. And they're
Oh,
just,
it brings money.
oh yeah,
Totally.
and
Totally.
it's usually like if we're watching TV or so forth. If you pay attention to the advertisements that's on the TV, it's like that's usually what you're probably eating when you're watching the game or watching it, or it leads
Yeah.
to those things. Should I say?
It's junk food. Yeah.
Yep.
And so we've got two great questions, and BB, I just want to ask them first. So tell us what the changes were you made, and then we'll take some questions. BB wants to know, can you prevent alopecia, and also how long you've been alopecia free? So I don't know if you want to work that in now, or we can wait.
Yeah, I can allow Jeremy to tackle her questions as far as how long we've been alopecia free, but I can at least dive into what we were eating and how we
Yes.
transitioned to where we are. But it started honestly with us eating a lot of the processed vegan foods. At least for myself, I can be completely honest. It was like the Beyond Meat, Impossible, Gardein, all of these different brands that make different types of plant-based vegan alternatives to meat.
I just call it fake meat, but yeah.
Fake meat. Yep, that's exactly what it is. Fake meat. And honestly, the way I view it is, I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's good for you. But do I think that it's most likely better for you than a piece of steak? Absolutely.
Okay. Yes. Yes.
But I don't think it's gonna really help you much on your healing journey. But we did start there just to transition off of the beef burgers, the hot dogs, and things like that. And then we did quickly move to more of a whole food plant-based diet. So I'm focusing on how can I get my fruits and vegetables first every single morning. I'm like, okay, I got to get my fruits in. Watermelon, they say the best fruits for you are melons. So I'm usually thinking
Easy
about
to
watermelon.
digest. right?
Absolutely, and also it's a ton of water in them, so
Oh yeah.
you're also hydrating yourself as well. So
And
any
you
sort
need
of
the ones with
melons,
the seeds as well. The seeds.
yes, black seeded watermelons. If the watermelon doesn't have seeds, it's not real. So
How did it grow, right? Exactly.
right, you can't grow without seeds.
Yeah,
So
that's weird.
definitely a focus on fruits and vegetables to get the day started, and then I'm usually thinking around 3 p.m. I usually do fast until about 11, 12 o'clock. That's
Me too. Me too. I'm not really hungry till, yeah.
Oh,
Same
good.
here.
I think it's a good practice. I think it's a great practice. Give your body a break, give it some
Oh
time
yeah.
to digest the food. But then, yeah, usually some sort of fruits and vegetables. And then middle of the day, I'm usually trying to get in some sort of like wild rice, maybe occasionally a brown rice, but usually like a quinoa, couscous with some sort of heavy kale, spinach, asparagus, Brussels sprouts, maybe some sweet potatoes,
Nice.
yuca, any sort of ground provisions, definitely a lot of yuca, sweet potatoes, and things of that nature. And then beans and mushrooms. Beans and mushrooms. I love any sort of bean, any sort of lentil, black beans, kidney beans, and all different types of mushrooms as
I
well.
got to tell you, I literally, this is so weird because I usually don't do this. Right before we got on, I had black beans, but I love black beans, but I put mushrooms in them. It was so good, you guys. And because I'm
Ooh.
Jamaican, I put a little Grace's hot sauce on it, and it just brought the whole flavor
Ooh.
up with some rice, and I had some plantains that I air roasted, which it's not quite as good as fried. I'm not gonna lie. If you fry some sweet plantains, but then it's like
So
swimming in
good.
oil, right? Like,
Right.
so,
It's
but it was
so good
delicious,
too.
really delicious.
Yes.
That
That
sounds
sounds
delicious.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
an
But
easy
to add on
win.
to what Jordan was saying, also what you're saying as well is, I think that it's very important to just divert away from the American diet, as you're saying, like just completely. Like what I try to do is just try to eat different ethnic foods. Where it's like, okay, I'm gonna try some Asian
Thank
food.
you. Like if you go to a Thai restaurant, you're good. You know what I'm saying? You
Yes.
can
Yes.
easily find, like, why is it other cultures have these like built in? It's, you know,
Yes.
Go to a
100%.
Mediterranean restaurant, a Jamaican restaurant, like all of it is, and
there'll be
usually those
something.
type of foods, they have like the food from the ground as their staple, not necessarily, okay, let's pull this, whatever, this animal, and this is, the main
Right,
staple.
right. I mean, that will be there. I mean, I have a controversy. First of all, you guys are great because you're not angry vegans. I'm just gonna say it because
No,
I have met some angry vegans, and that just gives a bad
It
name. You
does.
know, I mean, yeah.
I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah, yeah. They're just,
I
and they're like
apologize on the
irrational.
behalf
They're like,
of
there's
all.
something irrational happening, you know?
Yes.
for sure.
We apologize on the behalf of all angry vegans. Our
Yes.
goal with All Love No Beef is not to get everybody to go vegan, but to get everyone to incorporate more fruits and vegetables
Thank
into
you.
their lifestyle and to live a holistic,
Mhm.
holistic, healthy lifestyle.
Mhm.
Not necessarily, not necessarily staying away from meat, but just really, really focusing on adding more fruits and vegetables into your diet. And also leading with love, loving your neighbor, loving yourself, loving your temple. Because if you love your temple, you're going to treat it correctly.
Exactly. And you'll start to pay attention to, like I love French fries. I love the taste of French fries, but I haven't had, I haven't been into a McDonald's in maybe 2 or 3, maybe even longer. Right? Because I
Absolutely.
have this identity that I'm healthy. So it isn't, so I'm not, it's, you guys know what I'm saying. I'm not battling with myself about it because I'm like, no, well, I'm healthy. So that means I do not eat like a
Yes.
McDonald's French fries, right? Where you can squeeze
Right.
it in again, like the oil, just, you could coat yourself with the oil. Like,
And they also
yeah.
they cook it in. I've learned they cook it in like pig oil, pig grease, like whatever they're cooking the burgers and bacon.
Is it?
It's the beef fat. They also fry the fries.
It's a lard. It's a lard. And I think they double fry it. Like there's some weird stuff like you don't even want to know. You really don't.
So going back to your point of like what we eat, and it's really, yes, it's what we eat, but it's also what we avoid. It's just avoiding saturated fat, avoiding the
Right.
trans fat, because that's what keeps your body, should I say, it keeps the disease going. It keeps the cancer going. It keeps all those things growing and being enlarged, because it's like, oh, I got some fat to hang on to now.
Well,
Let
it's
me attach this
inflammation,
fat.
right? It's
Yep.
inflammation. and the doctors are seeing it more and more. But again, traditional cultures, and I'm not saying, and it would be very hard to prove, I believe we're omnivores, but this myth, I think it's a myth that our ancestors, now of course there's certain tribes, like there are people who live up close in the polar regions where, yeah, they lived on whale meat.
Right,
Obviously,
right.
they weren't having pineapples, right? But there's just so much proof that the majority of the diet should be plant-based. It's not that humans wouldn't have meat if it were there as a rule, but
Right.
the quantities of meat that an American, I mean, this is completely politically incorrect, but I have to say it. Like when you look at the amount of meat on a plate of an American restaurant, that could feed, I literally say, like in India, that could feed a family of like 6 people.
Absolutely.
Literally,
Seriously.
you know, and one
Easily.
person will eat this thing.
But also, they might have that 3 meals out of the day too. So you know, it may not just be one meal. So it's just the over
Good
excessive
point.
calories.
Good point.
Yeah, it's nuts. But I do want
It
to
is nuts.
answer BB's question. if
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
okay.
definitely. What we were reading.
As
Well,
far
she
as
was
how-
prevention.
Yeah, so as far as can you prevent alopecia, I personally do think that you can prevent alopecia for sure. And it starts with having a whole food plant-based lifestyle. In my opinion, as far as starting, at least keeping that as your base and the core, and then two, just the environmental stresses, the having a wellness routine. Who do
Yeah,
you?
let's talk about that a little bit, because it isn't just the food. Like really quick, I want to say sometimes I think also, especially in the Black community, because this makes me sad. Really quick point. My sister had her best friend was dying from cancer. And I remember she held up like this herb, some, there's always like the hot herb. And she's like, oh, I know this can help. And my first thought, you guys, was, it's not just one herb. You've got to, what is your diet? What is your stress? But truly, she wasn't going to change her diet, guys, because she didn't know. So she just thought, I'm just going to take this one thing, right? And it doesn't work like that.
I wish it did work like that, but no.
It doesn't work like that. And that's...
Oh, yeah. And people oftentimes bring that to me as well, as far as like, what's the fruit or the vegetable that
like the one magic thing. It's just magic.
And what I learned through my nutritional studies is you need a rainbow. You need an array of everything. You need to have the most colorful plate possible, and not just that. You need to be walking. You need to be drinking water. There's just so much. Being dehydrated is another huge thing as well.
Huge. And then, of course, our water quality in the country and in some places,
Terrible.
So some of this is definitely, what am I trying to say? Structural, because if you really live in the hood, your water, like I just bought a water purifier. It was $100. I got it as a gift. It was $130. Now,
Wow.
that's a lot of money, but you guys know it's the nice Enviro. It's like a big, but it was $130,
Worth it for sure.
It's worth it.
Water is plain, but you shouldn't have to do that.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to do that. However, I do think that it's important to start changing people's mindset on health. It's like invest in your health. You may have to pay. Sometimes it is a little bit more expensive, unfortunately, to buy something that may be organic or something like that. But some people do justify paying $150 for the new Jordans that just dropped. So, like, what do you value? I think that's where.
Yeah, or the new cell phone, right?
Or the new cell phone, the new iPhone that just dropped. Yep.
And it may be worth paying for now rather than paying for later in hospital.
Thank you, Jordan. That's what I was going to say. It literally is that. And so I think we need to speak about that so people really hear us. Like, yeah, I sacrificed other things. I do buy organic. So maybe there are other things I don't get as much. But seriously, my friends, and God forbid, I always say you could eat great, all of that. You don't know what's going to happen. We don't know. You could still go get hit by a bus. You were healthy, but you got
right.
Seriously. What we don't want, it's like you want to live long, but you want to have a lot of life in your years, right? Not just years in your life. So we want to just be healthy as long as we can, knowing that it's not all under our control, right?
100%.
Yeah.
I really like that.
I love that quote. I need to write that somewhere. You can have a lot of years in your life, but not a
Years
lot
in
of
your
life in
life. Yeah, I didn't make that one up. It's like you can, you can have a long life, or you can have a lot of life in your years. Like it's something like that, where what I see really quick, some epidemiologist was saying that the natural way that we're supposed to human life, get this, it was beautiful. He goes, you're supposed to, we're talking about like in Peru and parts of Africa still, where they eat a natural diet and they're active. He's like, the old people, and we've seen that, they're squatting, they're running, and they're like 80.
Yep.
And he said, you get sick about 6 months before you're going to pass away. Literally, you get ill, you start to go, and then you pass away. Unlike in America, what happens is 20 years before, let's be honest, right? You're already dealing with diabetes and high blood pressure, and oh my God, I have migraines, and it's like this decline that lasts for like, the end part. Yeah, years. That's not how we're designed. This dude is like, they're telling you, they get sick 4 to 6 months before. Not even sick, they can't ride that horse like they were riding.
Right.
and suddenly, okay, they're going to be more in the house, and then they pass away. It's not a like this suffering, endlessly like we have. I want to put up.
It's just like slow decline of life and dealing with.
Yeah, and yet we're like what, the richest country in the world. I mean, so yeah, Millie, who makes beautiful products, by the way, healthy products. Millie, you should put in the chat what you do. She's saying, yeah, the chlorinated water. The chlorinated water should. Can you guys see when I put them up? You can see them,
yes.
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I invested. I asked my friends. I was like, get me this as a gift.
Everyone needs to ask for that for Christmas. That's a great Christmas list, right?
It's a great Christmas gift. Yeah, I'm gonna do a video like reviewing it, actually, because it takes out so many things that I can't even. Benzene, chlorine, fluoride. Should we be drinking fluoride? I'm not convinced.
You gotta. I've been just hooked on the spring water. Unfortunately, I'm always going to the store to buy spring water. You should be able to get water from your home, but
right, in that big plastic, right?
Yep. Or if I'm buying the bottled spring water, it's always bottled at source. That's something that we should always look for. For spring water, look for it on the bottle. It should say bottled at source.
Well, what does that mean exactly, bottled at source?
That just means that there was no sort of like ways in which the water could have been like contaminated or gone through any sort of issues from the transportation of taking it from the source to somewhere else.
I see what you're saying. Okay, I see what you're saying. I love Fiji water, but it's so expensive. It just tastes like so clean. Do you guys like just?
I saw a report on that the other day. It was talking about the best waters in the world, I believe, and Fiji was #1.
Seriously? Because it's that clear bottle. Like you drink it and you're just like you didn't taste anything. You're like, oh, I feel refreshed. But of course that's plastic. Anyway, we can't get into all of that. But I'm just wary of your time, and I know like one person still on here has had some of that hair loss issues. So this works, right? You've seen it work for both of you. How long has it been since you feel that you really healed the situation, the alopecia?
I do want to say one thing. Sorry.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
It hasn't just worked for us. It's worked for so many other people as well. So many, like there's just testimony after testimony of people saying, hey, I've reversed my alopecia hair loss from the plant-based lifestyle. But to answer your question, yes, and people can find, this isn't hidden information. This is all like, if you join different Facebook groups and so forth around alopecia.
You give us some names, and let me just pop your website into the chat. So give me the exact name again. All
Love, No Beef.
You want to explain that? Because that is so cool. All love. Okay.
All love,
no beef.
No beef. Yeah, so it's a double entendre for us. The no beef, like the no beef on your plate, but also the no beef in the streets, no violence, no gang banging, and really just loving your neighbors.
I hope I spelled that right.
Yes. All love, 3 L's. Yep. Nobeef.com. And we also have services as well in which we actually help people reverse different autoimmune diseases and sicknesses. So we've been helping people for quite some time reverse alopecia. We've had people we've been having people reach out to us since 2020 to reverse different, whether it's obesity or disease, or mainly it's the alopecia community that's reaching out to us.
Right, because that's you probably see weight loss though. Like if a man or a woman comes to you and they have alopecia, but they're also overweight, I'm sure that the weight drops, right?
Absolutely. That's one of those things that I think that kind of naturally happens when you get rid of the meat and the dairy and the milk and the eggs and everything, is you just notice the weight drop immediately.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like it kind of falls off of you. I'm trying. There was one thing I wanted to bring up, and again, just welcome to those. A lot of folks are going to watch this in replay. If you have questions, for Jeremy or Jordan, you can put them. I would love it if you, checked in a couple days and just answered any questions. And I'll also put their links below the video once we're not live. But there's a couple of things. I wanted to briefly bring up the young man who's accused of, and it's caught on video though, stabbing someone in Brooklyn, because I'm a New Yorker. A lot of my community knows that. And Jordan.
Brooklyn. There we go.
Brooklyn, right. You hadn't heard about it because it happened just 3 days ago. And it just pains me. Could we briefly talk about the effect of more plant-based healthy diet on mood and emotions? Because real quick, this kid stabbed somebody in like 30 seconds because he was angry, he had a fight with his girlfriend. And you see it all on video. And my heart breaks, because if he had just even had a little bit of meditation training, he could have held that anger and know, okay, I'm really angry now, but he didn't have really the skills or the control. But can we talk about food's impact on mood? Before you guys.
Absolutely. Also, that's incredibly sad to hear though. It's really sad. And it's just to know that someone is suffering, but also he will now have to suffer behind bars.
So a life is lost, but also this young man has ruined his life because of an action that was literally like less than a minute, and that's why
mental health is a huge focus for us. Jordan and I talk about mental health all the time and how it's improved our mental health as far as just eating better and caring about what we're putting inside of our body, because your gut is like your brain, it connects directly to your
second brain. Second brain, right.
So people are going to respond out of what they have inside of them. So if people have those fast responses, if they have those mood altering situations, it's usually due to their body signaling almost like a cry for help, if you will.
Right. And even just think of, as I'm listening to you, I just got the sense of adrenaline, right?
Yes.
So you have testosterone levels, right? Of course, normal levels. And then you've got that. But if adrenaline kicks in, now I know adrenaline has something to do with stress and like fear, right?
Yep.
So
absolutely.
It's connected, because if that were better regulated, the person might not amp up to that. Maybe you would have punched the guy, right?
Yes.
I'm always like, just, I don't know, run, punch him. But, when we get to guns, which is a whole other conversation, right? And access to a gun or a knife, obviously you're going to amp up what your response can be, versus if you just have your two hands, what are you going to do? Right. The worst, you're going to break somebody's nose, right? I mean.
No, I think we're hitting the nail right on the head when it comes to the food being a major influence and a major impact. I think what the food choices also has an impact on. Actually, they impact each other, is your spiritual health and your mental health, as well as just like your physical health when it comes to food. I think that is really a holistic approach. I think that when you are eating correctly, you also tend to, or if you are eating correctly, you also tend to have some sort of spiritual practice or some sort of way in which you manage stress, in which you not only manage stress, but also in which you give like appreciation for life. And I think that also comes with like almost like a peace that comes to you. Like I always say that my peace comes from the Lord. And I think that foundation also leads to me eating healthy. because I treat my temple correctly. So I see it all as one. So
All connected. Absolutely. Absolutely.
yeah, so the spirituality of it all, being able to meditate, being able to manage stress, being able to say, hey, I'm not the ultimate decision maker. This is beside me. I don't have any control over if this person should live or die.
And just
I think
choosing love and forgiveness. I feel like that's essentially what we said. Forgiving people for
Right.
what they forgive people for their offenses, and then also just choose love. So I think
Right.
it's not, and I agree, it's not always that easy in the split of a second when you're in the midst of an altercation, making those decisions. But that's where, it's having those practice, being able to breathe and take time to actually understand
Exactly.
what's taking place in a moment.
Right. And I think that's a beautiful part of your mission, because when I looked at your site, I mean, I see the no beef part. Yeah, is not just no cows, but no fighting. Like, because a lot of that anger it's turning on ourselves, and it's just really toxic. I mean, this can be controversial to say, but it's true in terms of how our bodies react when we're angry. That first affects us. There's actually a Buddhist saying that being angry at someone, get this, is like reaching into a fire to pick up a log to throw at somebody else.
you're
Yeah.
gonna burn yourself at the same time.
Yeah, inherently, right? That you're going to harm yourself. And like I said, on a physiological level, scientists can now see, I forget what it's called, like psychoimmunology, something like that. You can see the effects of different emotional states. So I would like to get meditation more into the community, as well as these food choices. And I'm going to go there. There's still, a lot of folks in the Black community will be like, oh, well, that stuff's just for white people. I think that we need to no, this is good stuff. It's for us too. You just haven't heard about it. And
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
I agree with you, with especially holistic health in totality. Food as well. I mean, when you really think about food and where we come from eating food from the ground. We come from eating
Yeah,
food
I
that
mean,
is nutritionally dense.
yeah, and I do think there are definitely some medical differences. They've seen it even with drugs, with people who are of African heritage sometimes metabolizing things differently. I mean, I really think of it holistically, back to your point. Just like I actually have a belief that our bodies, our livers, those of African descent, might be a little more sensitive, in fact, to some of the foods, additives, colorants that are in this food that we're
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
And they
I
don't,
think
they won't
Jeremy
tend
has
to
to drop.
study that as much, but go ahead. Yeah.
I'm so sorry, Viv. I do have to leave right
Oh,
now.
no, that's okay. We're wrapping up anyway. I'm so grateful that you were able to come.
Yes, and I'm so thankful for this, and I'm so happy to meet you, and I'm excited to watch the recap of this and continue to, hopefully we can do this again. But my wife is waiting for me in the car, so I'm gonna take off with that.
All right, bye.
He's on his way to Guatemala.
Yeah.
All right. See you.
And my cat. So yeah, I will definitely add your info. And anything, would you like to end with anything? Just see that we haven't covered yet, or that you want to share. Oh, BB says you need it. That is the next step. Hair care.
Wow. Yeah. Honestly, we should definitely get in that space.
That's a good idea, actually.
That's a great. Thank you, BB.
Beautifully natural, because you know how we go for hair care products. I mean,
yes, no,
percentage of spend on hair care.
I honestly never even really thought about getting in the hair care space, but I think it's something that is so aligned with our mission.
I know. I hadn't thought of it for you either. I'm very creative, and I'm, thinking of, I think you guys, your whole brand and what you're doing is going to completely blow up. So BB has another, I think BB's going to be your agent. Can they suggest any natural hair care products?
To be honest with you,
I just use coconut oil and almond oil and all that, but okay.
I was gonna say that I always use coconut oil, argan oil.
Argan oil.
Yeah, coconut oil and argan oil are the two products that I use. I do know that there's a lot of other brands that do a lot of special things, and they also create a lot of specific types of formulas, especially for Black hair, but I haven't really tapped into it much.
No, seriously, when she said that, Yeah, my light went off. On it's on a timer. I really do.
Oh,
I mean, I know you guys wouldn't sell it as like, oh, this is the solution, but you could, because it is so aligned with what you do, just like maybe, yeah, some natural hair care. I
yeah,
mean,
no, that's a
yeah,
great idea. That beauty.
write that
We're
down.
gonna have to.
I
We're
just
gonna.
put coconut and argan on arg. I don't know if I spelled that right, but yeah. What's the woman's name? She's actually in Brooklyn that has a line that is mostly natural. Can't think of her name. There is a hair care line and I can see it, but I cannot think of it. But it's kind of a saturated market, but I think, you never know.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know too many black brothers in this space. So
Yeah, if you did aim it right. No, that's true. That's true. What is this woman's name? It's now in stores. I can't think of the line, but it's mostly natural. But of course,
I know
there's
Tabitha Brown started something recently.
oh yeah.
Tabitha Brown, she's like the famous plant-based influencer. Uh,
Yeah.
she got pretty well known from her cooking, and then she got
Yes.
products from Target, and yeah, she's doing really well. Doing really well.
Right. I mean, hair, it's one avenue, but I think, yeah, both of you are just so articulate about it and have the proof. And someone says Ashley Lauren has a great hair care line. That's such a great name. It sounds like a made up name, Ashley Lauren.
Ashley Lauren, right?
It doesn't sound like yeah, Ashley Lauren, and then
yeah. Well, I'm gonna look into Ashley Lauren. Thank you so much, Sunshine Miracle.
Thank you so much for being here, Jordan. It was great,
Oh,
and just nice to have Jeremy as well. And maybe we'll just stay connected, do some more in the future. And again, most folks see this on the replay. So if you could pop in and just see any questions or comments, that would be awesome. Do you guys have a YouTube channel?
Yes, All Love No Beef.
Okay. All Love No Beef everywhere. All right, great.
All Love No Beef, YouTube, All Love No Beef, Instagram, All Love No Beef, TikTok, All Love No Beef, Threads, All Love No Beef. You got it all though. Facebook, alllovenobeef.com. We exist because we want to make a healthy lifestyle sexy, dope, cool, fun.
Accessible.
I think a lot of people think that eating healthy is something like very granola or for white women, and we're like, no, this is for everybody. We can all be a part of this. We can all take it. And we are also just tired of people suffering, thinking that they have to deal with diabetes, thinking that they have to deal with cancer, and that there's the only way out is prescription drugs. There's a holistic way, there's a natural way,
and the doctors don't know it, so you can't always. They're not really trained in nutrition, right? Isn't that true, Jordan?
Yes.
They get like one class in the typical one class on nutrition. It's like ridiculous.
It's frustrating. It's like almost a comedy at some point.
It is comical. It's like, seriously? Yeah.
It's like that has to change. It has to.
I heard somebody said they're now getting 2 classes. I'm like, oh wow.
Big upgrade.
2 whole classes in what, 8 years of study? I forget how long it takes to be a doctor, like 6 years or something.
That should be like a part of their practice yearly of studying nutrition, understanding what's new in that space.
It should be. So I will definitely put their links below for everyone watching this. So just give me like an hour and it'll be up there. So thank you so much. It was a pleasure to have you guys.
Thank you. We're thankful for everything that you're doing and having the platform that you have, and we definitely gonna stay connected. I'm in New York, you're in New York, and I'm
in upstate in the beautiful Finger Lakes.
Oh, see, I gotta get up there, get a nice cabin.
It's
on
nice.
The lake or something.
You know what? I could see you, and this is another idea for you because I am an idea person. I could see you talking at like Cornell or Ithaca College about what you have done.
We actually got our certification, our plant-based certification through Cornell University.
Right. What's the name of the school? What's the,
it's just called eCornell. It's an online course. Yeah. eCornell.
Because you're such a great speaker. I could see you hitting college campuses.
I would love to. I mean, especially, I think that's the right time to get them before all the bad habits creep in and everything.
Absolutely. Like, I'm not saying, like, if I totally had a connection, I would share it with you, but I would reach out, and I just think it's something to put on the map for you, because you're such great speakers. And I know college campuses are always looking for folks to talk about. I mean, and you have pictures. It's like, we've done this. I think it'd be inspiring.
Ab-
Yeah.
I appreciate the idea. Thanks for
Yeah.
planting the seed. When we're
Yeah.
at
And
Cornell University, I'll let you know.
yeah,
Thanks for having
Cornell
me.
and Ithaca College are in the same town.
Oh, they are?
Yeah, that's why it's a great area. And TC3, which is Tompkins County Community College. There were 3 colleges here.
Gotcha. Wow. Okay.
You could do like a little circuit. I mean, it'd probably be hard, the timing, but yeah, there are 3 colleges. And get paid, of course. You should be paid for the information and the inspiration. BB says, great interview.
Thank you so much, Bibi, and
Thank
everyone
you.
else who stayed to watch. Thank you so much, and who will watch.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Bye, Jordan.
Bye bye. Thank you so
Bye-bye.
much. Take care.
Thank you.